You go. Ty, let us know when we're live. This thing ain't late. Whenever you say you're live. And Ty.
He said live. Just text. First 2 minutes.
Absolutely. Welcome to the United States Black Chambers USBC Directory. How is everybody doing? Listen, we're excited. We are in Washington, D.C. As you see, I got a guest with me. I got a guest. So we're going to be doing some talking about Black entertainment, Black culture, Black business, all tied up into one. So listen, go ahead and start sharing this broadcast. Start sharing it with your friends, share with your family. Let everybody know that the USBC Directory is live. And we are live today here at a very nice hotel, right? Very nice
Conrad, yes, the new Conrad
in Washington, D.C. And we are at the conference of the National Bankers Association. So as I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, this is a network of roughly 21 Black-owned banks around the country. And so it's actually been great just kind of listening to them and learning what they're doing, some of the plans for the future. We can't get into it, everything that they're doing. But if you are in the Washington, D.C. area and you want to get a loan from a Black-owned bank, I would suggest that you actually travel here today, tomorrow, and be at the conference because you actually have a chance to speak directly to many of the bank heads. And, we've been talking for these last couple of weeks that business is about relationships. It's about knowing people. And it's about the more you know people, the more people that you know, the more you can expand and grow your business. Your network is your net worth. I didn't come up with that, but I should have. So we met each other at a conference. We're going to get into that. So we'll be talking about all that. So listen, share the broadcast, do a watch party. And again, we're going to do this. We've been doing this every week. So whoever shares the most will be getting a prize at the end of the broadcast. We'll be naming that at the end of the broadcast. We'll be making you aware who's the winner. So start a watch party. Mom, dad, brothers, cousins, friends, business owners, everybody. If you are a USBC member, please share the broadcast. Let them know that we are on, we're live, and start a watch party because there's going to be some great information. See, because it's great to have a great business, but you can have the best business in the world. But if nobody knows you there, it does not matter. So this is why we're bringing Roland out here today so they can really discuss how they can help you promote your business and make sure that more individuals are aware that you exist. So if you have not done so as of yet, go ahead and download the USBC Directory mobile app. Again, US, which stands for United States, BC, which stands for Black Chamber, USBC Directory mobile app. It is the largest Black business directory in the world. We're like Google for Black-owned businesses. So we list thousands upon thousands upon thousands of Black-owned businesses in the United States, and in Canada, United Kingdom, in Africa, and in the Caribbean islands. So anywhere you're traveling, we list a Black-owned business in those areas. And if you are a Black-owned business also that would like to be listed in the directory, put down in the comments. Go ahead and start putting down in the comments that you would like to be listed. And also, if you would like to join the chamber, just type down in the bottom, join, say that you would like to join the United States Black Chambers because we're looking for more Black businesses to work with. We're looking for more Black businesses that we can help to grow. And man, it's been pretty exciting. I got some great news about a company that I've been able to bring on board here actually just a couple of days ago. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that here in a second, because that was really, really exciting for me to be able to bring a very, 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 did I say very?
You said very.
Very, very large Black-owned business.
Okay.
And one of the largest that we work with directly. And so I'm going to be explaining who that is and what we're doing directly with them, which is great. So again, go ahead and start sharing the broadcast, and then also make everyone again aware that we are alive and that we are on, and which is great. And now down in the comments, wherever you're from, tell us where you're from. So if you're from New York, if you're from Texas, Los Angeles, if you're from Canada, in the Caribbean islands, out of the country, anywhere you are, put that down in the comments and let us know exactly where you're from and what city and state you're from, because we want to be able to shout you out, which is great. We want to be able to let everyone know that you exist. And then also, if you are a Black business owner, put down in the comments your business. Let everybody know the name of your business, where you are, listen, this is your time to get some free promotion on us. It don't happen that often, but free promotion on us. Place it down in the comments, the name of your business, whether you're a member of the United States Black Chambers or not, but place the name of your business down in the comments. Let everyone know who you are and what you do and where you are located, which is great. So again, if you would like to join the United States Black Chambers, please join down in the comment. Please join down in the comment, which is great. So next week, so we've been waiting for this rolling out. So I can't wait for us to really jump into it. So we're going to jump into it here in a second. But next week, I do want to tell you, next week, we will be interviewing Wise Hemp Company and Wise Stone Teas. This show will be called Cannabis and Tea. Cannabis and tea. So we'll be discussing cannabis. And, there are a lot of people that are still on the fence about cannabis. We don't know if it's good for us, if they're getting any health benefits. And then, what are the health benefits? And so we will be bringing Y. Livingston on, one of our members of the chamber in Colorado. So she comes highly recommended. And I've connected her to some of our chamber members as well across the country. And so this is a great time because I know we've even kind of mentioned it a little bit here over the last couple of days. We heard some mention of this, but many business owners out there I've talked to that actually want to get into the cannabis industry. So this would be a great conversation to actually deal with a professional who travels the country talking about cannabis and where the avenues are for African Americans. So we are always interested in finding out where the opportunities are. So speaking of Wise Hemp Company, they are also the sponsor of the show today. So which is good. So thank you again, Y. Livingston, for sponsoring our show. So Wise Hemp is a full service CBD product development and marketing company offering products, white label and private label, as well as consultative services for those wanting to develop a CBD business. So she helps individuals to get into the business. They offer teas and coffees and a host of products in the cannabis space. Y. Livingston is a professional speaker and a published author as well. Y. Livingston of Wise Hemp Company, LLC, and Wise Stone's Tea will be our guest again next week, next Wednesday. And Wise Stone has clients over the U.S., all throughout the United States, in Canada, and in Ireland. Wise Stone has been featured in national publications and has assisted over a dozen clients with opening their businesses. I probably should connect you to Y because And also, so they will be offering a 10% discount if you go to their website and use the code BWISE, BEWISC. Use the code BWISE. They will be offering a 10% discount for those that are watching this broadcast. So also, what I would like to do, I'm gonna shout out a few of our members that just joined the United States Black Chambers. I just want to kind of give a shout out. I love some of our new members. We got some great things coming up here in the next month, next 2 months, where we are focusing on getting our businesses to do business together. So which is great. So again, share the broadcast, make everybody aware that we are on. So a couple of individuals I want to make everyone aware is Shub Ali with World Services, Barry Johnson and Malcolm Ingram, the African American Chamber of Commerce of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Delaware. They just joined, so it was great to have them as well. Stacy Redmond with Get Sam's Now, an IT company. She's doing great business there also. Alex Montero of the DNA Group. Deborah Owens of Wealthy You. Do you know Deborah?
Name sounds familiar.
Wealthy You. She's been on Roland Martin several times, so I'm planning to have her on the show. So Deborah, if you're watching, get ready. We're gonna have you on the show. So she does a lot of financial literacy, financial education, and so it was great having a conversation with her here recently. Krista Pillow of Divas and Dolls Fitness, Shayna Arnold, CFW Consultancy, Jaquez Loderson of The Hierarchy. That's another one of our IT companies as well. Herb Joseph of Emerge Tech, Walter Jones of Vision Builders, one of our general contractors as well, out in Las Vegas. Elena Turner of Cloth and Cord, Kerry Hall of CLH Wealth Management. So he helps individuals to grow their money. So he's one of our members of the chamber. And Don Key of Low Key Express, one of our trucking companies. And this is the company that I was excited to tell everyone about. This is really exciting.
Okay.
This is really exciting. I'm really excited about this. So again, share the broadcast. Share. You all know that. I say that all the time. Share the broadcast. Make everybody aware that we are on, which is good. So I can't even tell the whole story, but what I will say, I don't know if I mentioned it before. Many people do not know. I don't know if you know. that half of the gas stations in Washington, D.C. are owned by a black man.
I did not know. Did not have a clue.
Absolutely. So he owns half the gas stations in Washington, D.C. He also owns many gas stations in Maryland, some in Virginia. He also owns a lot of gas stations in every borough in New York City.
Wow.
Right. Black owned. And he's done great business. So the name of his company is called Capital Petroleum Group. They're one of our newest members. His name is Eyob Joe Mamo. So look up his story. One day I hope to have him and his team on. He's a very gracious gentleman. And the story goes, the way it goes is he was actually from Ethiopia, and his dad was sending him over to the United States to kind of get away from some of the turmoil that was going on in Ethiopia. His dad thought he was sending him to New York, but he sent him to North Dakota.
Wow.
But he came with a tear, and he started buying up gas stations all over the country. And so which is great. So I plan to have them on. So this is great. Look them up when you get a chance. So again, Capital Petroleum Group, one of our newest members of the chamber. We're glad to have them as a member of the chamber. So we are going to go ahead and get started here. So again, if you would like to join the United States Black Chambers, we're looking for greater Black-owned businesses. We're looking for more Black-owned businesses around the. Say it again.
Join.
JOIN, right?
The JOIN.
Place that down in the comments, and someone from my team will be reaching out to you right away because we want to get you in. We have some great opportunities, some great conference calls. We have some great networking that we're doing, and we're helping our businesses to do business with each other. And I do want to give a mention last week to Eric Adolph of GovFlex. Eric, that was a great show that we did last week. So we were excited to have you on. So we're going to be doing some great things with Eric, with our members, to help our members to grow the business in the federal space. So again, if you want to do business with the federal government, please join down in the comments, and we'll be in contact with you so that we can connect you to the right individuals that can help you grow. So which is great. So again, go ahead and download the USBC Directory app. Let us know where you're calling from, and tag your business down in the comments, and share the broadcast. So we are going to get started here. So again, we are on the set. We're at the Conrad Hotel in Washington, D.C. for the National Bankers Association Conference.
The money people.
They have real money. They have real money. You know, you just kind of walk through the room. You're like, boy, it smells like money in there. Yeah. Some people look like money. It's amazing. So it's a great network. This is a network of the Black banks in the United States. So I've had some great conversations here over the last couple of days. So our guest today is Mr. Randy Fling, and I'm going to do an introduction for him, and then we're going to jump right into it. So Randy Fling is the Chief Operating Officer of Steed Media Group. Rolling Out Magazine is also United States Black Chambers President Circle member. We work closely together with him in this company. Steed Media Group provides news, entertainment in the digital space. Rolling Out Magazine has interviewed celebrities and business owners like Jordan Peele, Romeo Miller, Angela Simmons, J. Cole, Karen Silver. Karen Silver is amazing. Yeah. Young Thug, Megan Good, Ella Varner, which is coming up very soon. We'll be talking about that. Okay. Jasmine Sullivan, and the former First Lady of the United States, Michelle Obama, which is great. So Steed Media Group represents 8 million. They have 8 million monthly visitors on their network of sites covering urban news. Steed Media Group creates custom videos. Now, this is very interesting. Custom video content in their Atlanta studios, and they publish Rolling Out Urban Style Weekly print edition in the top 19 markets nationally. Randy Fling is a highly accomplished and renowned media executive with more than 30 years of success in the technology. We're going to be talking about tech because I know you're very excited about tech. In the technology, digital media, telecommunications, direct sales, and marketing industry. Is there anything you don't do? Randy is a valuable asset for established venture-backed digital media companies seeking expert assistance with strategic planning, marketing planning, leadership, or financial system. He has a keen expertise that allows him to see and quantify the most meaningful KPIs based on business type. So without going any further, great intro, man. One day I'll give you an intro right there. One day I want to welcome Mr. Randy Fling. How you doing, sir?
Thank you, man. It's great to be here.
Definitely great to be here.
Great to be here.
Take a few seconds. So I read a lot, but take a few seconds, to kind of introduce yourself, tell everybody about yourself and Rolling Out.
Sure. Well, again, Randy Fling. I'm a guy from Buffalo, New York. Big ups to my homies in Buffalo, who has been in Atlanta for a long time. Came to Atlanta to go to Georgia Tech. where I got my degree in engineering, and therefore there's a lot of my tech background has come up, which I'm still very interested in. You know, it's a new age in technology now as people create apps every day, it seems. And what I've learned is that it's a very, you know, I'll say this up front, it's a great space for people to be in because the opportunities are very large. Capital plays a role as it does in every business,
Okay.
but there's an opportunity for creative people to create solutions to problems and find a way that previously just didn't exist, even before, you know, crowdfunding and some of these other ways that people can do it. So I have been a stockbroker in my early years out of college and done a number of things. So it's just great to be here.
No, without a doubt, you've done quite a bit, Thank you. So Randy and I, we originally met. We met at a conference.
Mhm.
I keep telling everyone on our broadcast, you gotta go to conferences. So if you're looking to grow your business, you're looking to meet more individuals, looking to build relationships, you have to go to conferences. And as I said, we're live on the set, so you see some individuals behind. They got to book their flight. So we're live on the set. So you got to be able to grow your business, and to do that, you have to meet more individuals. So rolling out. So you've been with rolling out for 22 years?
20 years, yeah.
Okay.
A little 20 years. Yeah, go ahead.
And you and Munson.
Munson Steve, yes.
And you originally met. So tell us about when you first met, how that first encounter took place. Where were you when you first met?
When I first met Munson Steve?
Yeah.
Well, we actually did a business prior to rolling out.
Okay.
So during the Olympics in Atlanta, he asked me to help him with a proposal. That was his idea and brainchild for something with the city during the Olympics.
Okay.
I had a different business at that time.
Okay.
We worked together on that, and the city chose us because we guaranteed them the most money, which is always the most important thing. And I had to make some decisions.
Okay.
I tried to keep my business at that time, but you know, an absentee owner from a business, if you're not well established or established at the level you'd like to be,
right,
can be difficult. So I had to make a decision and decided that what we were doing for the Olympics was important enough to actually shut that business down at that time.
Wow. And what was the name of that business?
Oh, it was Car Alarm City. Back then we were, I had, you know, I'm telling my age, but we actually had a paging company. We had a beeper company that originally had 27 locations throughout Atlanta.
Okay.
That I was a 30% owner of.
Okay.
We had built that up in the early 90s.
Yeah, yeah.
Sold it off, went into car security, which was very popular at the time. And yeah.
So you just been a business owner for quite some time. What age did you start? Did you actually start in business?
I guess that's a good question. And I was in my 20s.
In your 20s. Okay. Yes. If I told you all how old he was, you wouldn't believe it, but I won't tell it. I'll let him tell it. So give us some of the successes of rolling out.
Well, I think some of our successes is we have, and somebody else said it to me the other day, that, you know, so many people have come through rolling out that have been editors at most of the Black publications, magazine wise, and some even for other newspapers and chains of newspapers that really came through rolling out. They earned their stripes at rolling out.
Okay.
So for somebody to tell me that, and they name names, and I was like, wow, yeah, they have been the editor of a lot of other major publications that we all know, was very a part of what our original vision was.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd be an opportunity. There were a couple of things we had on our mind when we started it. We wanted to empower and show Black people to the world.
Okay.
And show us for the things that we do great. We're great people. And you know, sometimes the news, the 6 o'clock news, can show us in
they don't show the whole story.
Jumpsuits,
right?
A lot in a very disproportionate way. And so, you know, there has to be media that's fair and that shows our accomplishments every day. And you know, as you know from being at the chamber, and just the members who have joined recently, there are success stories everywhere in our community.
Absolutely.
But many of them never get the extra shine. And you know, getting publicity and being seen as a success is very important to people in business.
Right.
So, you know, there has to be a place for that. And so we've tried to be that place. And so, I mean, every single day we're putting up stories on people in our community, whether they're in the corporate level, of all the Fortune 500 companies, as well as small business owners, as well as people who, run nonprofits in that space.
Yeah. I said something on one of our shows 2 weeks ago with Rodney Greenup, probably about 3 weeks ago now. Niches make riches. So you all have found a niche, and that space that nobody's paying attention to, Black urban media, black business that no one's paying attention to. You've highlighted that, and you've been able to grow your company.
Yeah, and when we started, newspapers still used to cost.
Okay.
Information had a price.
Yeah.
So when we started, we decided to be free because literally, I know it's hard to remember everybody, but 20 to 25 years ago, the internet was barely here. Most people had never even been on the internet 25 years ago. And so as a result, I can remember an article, because we did a glossy even before we went to newsprint for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And one of the first articles we put, I know this sounds crazy, was, is the web too cool for blacks?
I saw that.
For us to ask that question.
What year was that?
1997.
Okay.
1997, we asked that question a couple years before we started rolling out. So again, we decided at that time, because the internet was free, we could see it was growing. That's why we went free with our publication.
But what does that mean? Is the web too cool for blacks?
We weren't participating.
Okay.
Like in the early stages.
Yeah.
I mean, nowadays we're social media stars.
Yeah.
But at that time, the digital divide was beginning.
Yeah.
We really weren't like using it.
Yeah.
It was geekish.
Yeah.
It's still considered geek. It wasn't cool.
And so you all, you still do print now.
Yes.
Obviously, you showed me one of your magazines. I wish you would have brought one, but you took it out of my hand and never brought it back.
No, another person asked for it. Well,
I said, "Where's my magazine?"
Oh, I'm sorry. And I have more in my briefcase that I don't have with me.
That's okay. That's okay. But you still do print, so you still mail them out.
We actually put them out in places for people to pick up at restaurants and cleaners and local businesses.
Now, as you see, many black-owned newspapers, and not just black-owned, just many many newspapers in general have folded. So how has Rolling Out been able to pivot? And that's one of the words we want to put down in comments. Pivot is great for our businesses, because once you see that something is ending, how do you pivot to make sure that your business does not die? So how did you all do that?
Well, we did what other people did. We went digital, but I think we went a little harder at it than some other people.
And now, what year was this? When did you actually realize, okay, we need to make a transition and start to do it?
It's interesting. I look back, and I want to say Google had those snapshots where it kicks you back to, and I want to say, well, it was in the early to mid 2000s. It was around 2004, maybe 3.
Okay.
So it's been quite a while. And of course, then we didn't know what the internet was really and understand it fully by any means. So we just, some people, you start out, you might just put the newspaper on the web and say, oh, now I'm on the World Wide Web. I'm waiting people to come, And
there was no Google back then. So, people couldn't find you.
Over the years, you learn that it's a very different interaction online. And even as social media, that's a different interaction than people have with websites.
Yeah.
So, each one is kind of a different relationship that you have to have with your viewer and what people expect when they come to your site or come to your social media or look for you in print.
So tell me about some of the people that you interviewed personally, because you travel all around the country. Now, I told Randy about this conference last week. If you know me and Randy, we talk all the time. Randy said, okay, I'm gonna hop on the flight. I said, so he made it.
Very, very important to be here, I think,
without a doubt.
Because we like to, once again, shine, show shine, and give love to the people that are important in our community. And I hope everybody here has a bank account with a Black-owned bank.
Absolutely. If
you don't, you should, or have a credit card or some financial means. Because that money, the good thing about putting money in a bank is banks make money.
Absolutely.
So for every dollar they receive, they're able to loan out, I don't know what it is today, could be 3 to 5 times that amount of money to people. And most of the banks in our community lend the majority of that money to people that look like us.
Absolutely.
So so every dollar you put on deposit with them, really serves a great purpose. They are FDIC insured.
They're regular banks.
Yeah, it's the same as everyone else. There were people from the FDIC here at the conference who I'm sure they were doing a lot of things, but one of the things they do is make sure that they're all insured as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, they are. They're very, very competent. Most of them have been around. The organization's been around since 1927.
Yeah.
You know, these are not people who are taking risk with your money. They're very solid business people.
Absolutely. So it's important for us to support our own institutions and for us to pour money back into our banks, because the banks help to fund our businesses, to his point. And again, after I said before in the previous broadcast, the government employs more Black people than anybody else. Second to the government is Black-owned businesses. So for our businesses to grow, they need money from our banks. But they need that money from you as being an everyday citizen to pour that into the bank, to take out your loans from the bank as well. They make money from interest, take out loans from the bank also. And then, just to take out a loan for business, get your car, get your house with them as well. That helps the bank. And in return, the bank can help our community because they help to grow businesses, and the businesses help to grow employees. And now we have everyday people that can go back to their communities and make a difference, which is good.
And let me say that should be one prong of a multi-pronged approach that each of you practice on a daily basis, which is spending money in your community, at the cleaners, at the service stations that he mentioned earlier.
Right. Absolutely.
That our own. That's a great example.
Yes.
But there's some in every major city. And I know everybody on here is not in a major city. If you're in a major city, you can certainly find, when you're taking your kids to McDonald's, go to one that's owned by a member of the community.
Absolutely.
Or Burger King, or wherever you may go.
Absolutely.
There are a lot of opportunities to take advantage of and support businesses in our community.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for a list of the Black-owned banks, go to usbcdirectory.com, and there's a link that says Black Banks. Just click there and you'll be able to locate many of the banks around the country. So usbcdirectory.com.
And Black-owned hotels. What is it? What is it? NAH? National Association of NABHOOD.
Absolutely.
You can find Black-owned hotels.
Absolutely. All around the country. So which is great. So tell me some of the individuals that you have interviewed. Yes.
Well, again,
some of your most exciting interviews.
I am more behind the scenes, so I'm not even at the beginning. I was managing a lot of the operations and those things more than I was the guy out interviewing people. But clearly, the day that I was here in DC, and this guy and one other guy, the two of them walked over into my hotel at the Monaco, and we had the privilege of talking for a while in the lobby, and then me taking his picture and interviewing him was the most exciting ever for me. Most of you know who he is, because about 2 years later, he was Mr. President. So since that time, of course, now Secret Service and all these other things, he don't know my name.
This is not you're not calling him out, are you?
But no,
I have nothing to do with this. Secret Service.
But at that time, like literally, he and one gentleman together walked over to my hotel for the interview, and we put him on the cover.
What city was that in?
That was here in DC.
Here in DC.
I was at the Monaco during Congressional Black Caucus, another great networking event that I encourage people to attend if you ever have the opportunity.
Okay. And right behind us, they're just working on some of the computers behind us. If you hear them working along, she's got to book her flight. So we're live. We're live on set.
This is where it at. The Conrad, the new, very new, very nice Conrad.
Absolutely. All right. So President Obama was one. So give me another one that, or who would you like to interview that you have not interviewed?
Wow, that's a good question. On a personal level, I would, which I didn't, I would love to interview his wife. Michelle Obama would be one of the people highly at the top of my list. I've had the chance to talk to Maya Angelou when she was still with us.
Wow.
And a lot of, it's amazing. I say this to everybody. People who are actors, it's amazing. We think of them in their role.
Yeah.
Our mind goes to the role they play on TV. But I can tell you that there are some super smart, intelligent, perceptive, hardworking people that I've had the pleasure being around the entertainment space that I've met who you see on all the TV shows. People like Brian White, who went to Ivy League College.
Okay.
Just
now who's Brian White?
He's an actor.
Okay.
He's an actor. But there's a lot. There are. And the other thing I like about this business is even the people in the music business, that some of them are very, very astute and they've been smart enough to surround themselves with astute people. I would say that in the music business, somewhat in the television, and I have a biased view because Tyler Perry is in it.
Yeah.
Perry Studios in
Yeah.
Atlanta. And in Atlanta, we get a somewhat biased view of even black business because there's so many, and
We're going to talk about that. Yeah.
Encouraging of each other.
Yeah.
But I see a lot of the sort of people that surround the entertainers and surround the stars, that they now are using and have for a little while African American people in the financial side and in the other areas of their business, which is so encouraging. I love that. It did kind of, it's grown a lot more than it was 10 or 15 years ago.
Now, this is you hit on such a great point because you're in Atlanta, we're in the DC area, and you travel a lot. Last year I was in San Francisco, and who gives me a call? Man, you're everywhere. You're everywhere. So, but what I've come to find out, I'm originally from Florida, and but what I come to find out here in the DMV area, just like Atlanta, you see a lot of black businesses and a lot of black people actually working together. And I was talking to one of my new chamber members here a week or so ago. He's down in Mississippi, and he was talking about being able to grow and do business. I said, a lot of people across the country really do not understand the level of interaction, cooperation, and just the way people are doing business in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area. And then also in the Atlanta area. Tell us about the climate and the culture of the Atlanta area, why it's a good place to do business.
Well, I think it goes back to the history of Atlanta, and it goes pretty far back. Like in the mid 70s, Maynard Jackson became mayor of Atlanta. He was the first black mayor there. We haven't had anybody who wasn't a black mayor since that time. And Atlanta has the busiest airport in the world. And so when they were adding maybe the second or third runway, they've got 5 or 6 now. Those are billion-dollar projects. And he literally stopped the project and said that until they put it into law and policy as well, did both, that 35% of the money would go to African-American owned businesses, that the construction would have to stop. At the busiest airport in the world. Now that took a lot of guts. It took a lot of vision, but that's the way the law became. So as a result, it allowed a lot of businesses to build themselves during.
Wait, hold on, stop right there. Because he also threatened the banks, from what I remember.
Okay.
That if they actually did not work together with them, he would pull the money out of the banks in Atlanta.
You're probably 100% right. Because he was a bond trader.
Yes.
That was his profession. After he left office, he had a bond firm.
We need, if you're working to go into politics today, I'm going to highly encourage you that when you get into office, be unapologetic. Go after what you have to go after, and do what you have to do.
Lie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really. Give us one.
Absolutely.
Give us one. So while he's doing that, so it's just important for us to be able to do business together and grow business together and to expand and to be able to expand and actually grow your business. So it's important if you're in politics and if you are looking to grow your business, we must work together and we must expand. So there have been some mayors. There have been some mayors in Detroit, in DC, even right here in DC. The mayor here really was, he said all the time, he was responsible for actually helping many of the black businesses to grow. So it's important for us to be able to expand. It's important for us to be able to grow and to expand and to do what we have to do. So this is why this story is so important about Maynard Jackson. It's so important about that, because if you go into politics, be unapologetic, because many times other people, when they go into politics, they are for the people and they're going to do what it takes to get it done.
So had a quick chat, and what we're going to do is take about a 3 minute, 2 minutes, hopefully 1 minute, and we're going to turn toward something different, just because of the other people that are coming and going to do what they have to do. So we want to make sure they're not inadvertently or in something that they may not want to be.
Okay.
So
give us one moment.
We will readjust ourselves. Thank you.
That's what happens when you're live, right?
Yeah. These things can happen.
When you're live things happen.
Yeah, we real live.
Yeah, this is live.
This is not fake. You don't have to wonder.
All right, so
there was no editing.
Yeah, pick up on that point that you were talking about Maynard Jackson and why he was so important to Atlanta.
Yeah, I think that attitude and that brazenness and that stand of strength at that time, way back then, really empowered. And he said, I'm going to create Black millionaires in this city. He said, and I don't know why anybody should be mad. There's a whole lot of white millionaires.
Absolutely.
We're not doing anything different than what you do. We're going to create some Black millionaires. And he did. And I think from each of those people, there have been, sprouts. It's kind of been able to grow. And we're blessed to have the Atlanta University Center, which is a large brain trust of academics as well as students coming through every year who are right there, who are able to get involved and understand, the principles.
See, but he did contracts. See, it starts with economics. I've been saying on every show, economics control politics, politics control economics. Absolutely.
Yes.
And so he realized, he understood. Again, if you're planning to go into politics and you listen to me, I'm just going to say it. Make sure when you go run for office and when you win, and if you are currently in office, we need you to be unapologetically Black. And we need you to stand up because we need the most help. So we need you to go and support our people, support our businesses, and make sure that you write policy, because too many of the individuals that are in office, they're playing the wrong game. They're playing a game that does not benefit the community. So we need you to be to really go for it. So that's important. So you've been able to do that. So the culture is there. You've been able to grow. So how has Rolling Out and Steep Media, from the days when you started, how have you been able to grow and scale? What's been important? What business tips can you offer the people that you all been able to do in that time frame?
Quite a few. One, I would say that the people are important. And we've been blessed to have some great people work with us. And one of the toughest parts of business is sometimes separating from some of those people that have played critical roles with you during a different time.
Yeah.
So, especially as businesses pivot, sometimes people's skill set and things change. So that's one of the challenges.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. That's one of the strengths is that, we were blessed that we were there during the time when the music business was large.
Yeah.
Atlanta, became popular in the music industry at that time. Because previous to that, it was New York, LA, Chicago. Predominantly New York and LA.
Yeah.
And then Atlanta became a big music city right around the time that we were doing Rolling Out. So it was good fortune, clearly, that it allowed us to, guys like Ludacris, who wasn't even Ludacris when we put him on the cover. He was Chris Lover and Poon Daddy. They had the morning or the afternoon hip hop show in the city. And so, to know him since those times is amazing.
When was the first time you met Ludacris?
Somewhere around that time. Almost 20 years ago, because we put him on the cover probably maybe our first year, second year, somewhere in that range. It's another smart guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the story. This is why it is so important. If you are also in media, it's important for us to be able to tell our own story.
Yes.
I heard that earlier as well. Because if you don't tell your story, somebody else would tell it for you. And so if you can tell your own story, you can control the narrative, and you can control, particularly if you're in business. This is why, again, if you're in business and you actually want to be able to get your business inside of a publication like Rolling Out, you have to reach out to them. Advertisement is so important.
It is.
Yeah,
and let me say, you asked the question of a couple things that I think led to our success. I think Munson Steed and I have a good business relationship in that he's a visionary.
Yeah.
He's an artist. Many people call him a Renaissance man. He sees things. He has a certain way of operating. Pretty different than me. I'm an engineer-based guy, operations-based guy. So we do different functions, but we've managed to function together in ways that have benefited the company.
Yeah.
So that, he knows what I've got going in my back and vice versa.
Yeah.
That we can, and I suggest that to a lot of the startups that I mentor and talk to. It's really good to have a team around you that can help and that's really got sharing the same vision with you. And it's really good if you have a business partner
Yeah.
or two, because don't be so greedy that it's all about you
Gotta have it all.
sometimes. Because when other people are invested in it the same way you are, they're more committed.
I've learned in business, it's important for everybody to understand what their roles are, job descriptions. So he's good at being an artist. You're good on the tech side. And if everyone stays in the lane, then we can grow.
Well, yeah, no, he's a sales guy.
Yeah.
He's a relationship guy.
Yeah.
He's excellent. He has, lots of relationships. He went to Morehouse.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of relationships through that community. And there I was over at Georgia Tech where the community was small. Got great friends from over there, but the community a whole lot smaller than that Morehouse.
No, that is big.
Center.
So now I read something interesting about you all, that you have your own studio.
We do.
Now that is so interesting, because you have your own studio, and you also have artists that come in.
We do.
And leverage your studio. Talk about that.
And it's not a music studio. So we've got a 15,000 square foot building that we got a few years ago. We're right in Midwest. They call West Midtown, a very popular area that's, like booming crazy right now through gentrification. But yes, we have a podcast studio that we had built out. We have studios that people can come in and shoot a full television show in. Photo studios. So sure, we have live streaming just like we're doing here today with people. We got about 5 different shows that actually take place every Tuesday. Different guests, different topics. Some are socially oriented, some are a little more politically oriented. Mine, of course, is a little tech oriented.
Yeah.
So we've been able to extend ourselves through that as well.
Because when I saw that, I thought that was genius, because that is a way to bring in celebrities, to kind of bring them in. Now, have you been able to leverage that for interviews and for business as well?
Well, sure. And for us, thank the good Lord, we have, bringing in celebrities was never, not so much of a hard thing, but it does certainly make it easier than having to go somewhere else where they are, or always go to a hotel and get permission and do a photo shoot. When they
kind of
like today, yeah.
And we did get permission, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, we definitely got permission.
But we just set up in the wrong direction where somebody else could walk behind us.
Yeah, exactly.
But and so that obviously helps. And it's nice for them, and we appreciate the respect they show us when they come and see what we've done as well. So it's very fulfilling.
No. So one of the issues that we're going to move along as well. But one of the issues that many of our businesses deal with all of the time, and I would love to hear what you all did, is gaining access to capital.
Mm-hmm.
How did Rolling Out and Steve Media gain access to capital to be able to grow and to expand? Was it just personal investments from you all, or did you loans?
A whole lot of that. Friends and family. What most people get for their first round is friends and family. Shout out to the Atlanta Economic Development Authority. They're now called Invest Atlanta.
Okay.
But we did get our first loan from someone else who wasn't a friend or a family of $25,000 from them. And that was through relationships and somebody who believed in you for $25,000 very early on in the business. I know that's not a lot. It may not sound like millions and billions.
Huge when you first.
But at the time, it was something that we certainly needed. I will say that you should, as best as you can, use the vendors and suppliers that you work with. It's kind of embarrassing when I tell the story in one way, but we had a printer when we started in Atlanta, and then 6 months later, Mr. Steed says, we need to go to Detroit by the 1st of next month.
Okay.
And he gave me a date that was about 2 weeks away. I said, I don't know any printers there. I don't know anybody to distribute the papers there.
Right.
What are you talking about? He's like, no, we need to make that happen. So we did actually make it happen.
Okay.
And in the very first week, we started with a small distribution and took the papers from Atlanta to Detroit and started distributing the paper in Detroit. But by the next week, I had a printer in Detroit, outside of Detroit. And that printer, along with our other printers, because I have a rep there. Big shout out to Jenny Yonkers, who's now since then gotten married, has probably a 10-year-old daughter, who I've never met face to face, who is not a member of our community per se, who allowed our credit to go way beyond where it should have probably.
Really? Relationships.
and continuing to allow us to build that second market for us. So that was very important. And when you say how do you get financing, well, when somebody you don't know lets you print, and you're printing every week, we had ended up with 7 regional printers.
Okay.
The bills were large. Thank you, American Express. My personal American Express family, and Munson's mother, my parents, my family. We're both blessed that our families have supported us.
So you gotta believe in it. First of all, you gotta really believe in it. It's because if you believe in it, then you can persuade someone else to give you those finances. But I love it because there's a recurring theme that we keep talking about every week, relationships. And so, you might be turned down by one bank, but find a bank, find someone that you can build a relationship with that believes in you and you believe in them. And then over time, you can get that access to capital, and it may take time. So I want to remind everyone, share the broadcast. So again, we're here with Randy Fling, Chief Operating Officer of Steve Media and Rolling Out. And he's, again, one of our members of the United States Black Chambers. Excited to have him here. Remember, just go ahead and keep sharing the broadcast. Start your watch parties. Make everyone aware that we are on, that we are live. And again, if you have not downloaded the app, download our app, USBC Directory. If you say that you want to support Black businesses, here at the Chamber, we have made it easier. We've made it easier for you to be able to support Black-owned businesses by locating Black businesses throughout the country with our Black Business mobile app. And again, we're like Google for Black-owned businesses. So download the app, download it right now. While you're sitting there, download it right now, USBC Directory, locate a Black business in your city, outside your city. And then also, if you have a business, whatever business that you have, place that down in the comments. We want to see who you are. We want to see where you're from, what city and state that you're calling it, that you're actually watching this from as well. Place that down in the comments. And if you would like to join the United States Black Chambers, place down in the comments, join, JOIN, place down in the comments, join, because we're looking for more Black businesses to be able to support, more Black businesses to help to grow, more Black businesses to help to expand as well.
And can they list themselves in the directory as well, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So,
you can list yourself. Go on. Great question, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. See, that's teamwork. So go on to usbcdirectory.com and click on the link that says join now. And you could join right now. You could not right now, but you can join right now. Today. You can join immediately. So it's good. So we've heard some of the great things, some of the successes, like, because you've traveled all over the country. You've been in New York. Are there any states that you haven't been to yet?
I'm sure there are Utah and a few other places, but
Maine.
Something else was crossing my mind about relationships that we were discussing. And that really is, that same printer is still our printer today, 20 years later.
Wow.
And I still haven't met my rep face to face ever.
Wow.
And she believed in us enough that even though we were way beyond where we should have been before, they realized it one day, like, wait, you owe us how much money? We said, you know what? We do, but we're going to pay you every week.
Yeah.
Until we're caught up to where we needed to be. Yeah. So that was a blessing that it kind of slipped by on them. But the bigger blessing for them and us both was that we were able to actually continue to have a relationship, continue to use that printer. They continued to profit by it. And so did we, because during that time, like I said, we went there 6 months after Atlanta. Detroit was the next place we went. So we were still pretty lean on the capital side at that time. So that really helped us a lot.
Give me the cities that you print your magazines go to.
Now, all the majors, New York, LA, San Francisco, Miami, Houston, Dallas, Charlotte, of course, Atlanta, New Orleans, DC, where we are. I said Dallas.
Yeah. So you're in all the major markets.
All the major markets.
So if someone wants to get your magazine, how do they get it? What do they do?
They can actually email us, and we can tell them exactly where to pick up the print copy if they want. Or, what a lot of people do is go online and they sign up for the newsletter.
Okay. So the website, rollingout.com.
Rollingout.com, and it'll say join newsletter. And you can get that, and then it comes to you every day in your email.
I get them all the time. I said, man, this is happening. Yeah, I get all the news, which is great. So that's good. So that happens there. So we've heard some great things that you've done, but what have been the pitfalls? What have been the hurdles of building a magazine in a digital age when many of the magazines and newspapers, they're dying out, but you all are still here?
We're still here. Thankfully. Thankfully.
Yeah,
Well,
thank God.
I think I think there's a few things. I think Munson's leadership in staying on top of sales and making sure that there was income, even as we transition into digital, played a big role. So, if there's has to be somebody on the team who's wakes up every day thinking about sales.
Yeah.
And so sometimes in business, especially a small business, people are focused on their craft.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be focused on your customer. You have to be focused on creating a good product. But if nobody on the team wakes up every day with sales on their mind, it's going to be a problem.
Bills don't pay themselves.
Bills don't pay themselves. Now, again, if you've got a tech business that's viral or certain, there are certain industries where, that doesn't have to per se be a person involved every day in sales. But if you're doing most businesses like a B2B type business, somebody has to be business to business. Somebody has to be hitting the pavement selling to those business people and proving to them that you're a partner that they want to do business with, whether it's in construction. I can remember people telling us when we first were selling advertising, they're like, oh no, we don't advertise in publications that aren't 3 to 5 years old because we don't know if you're going to be around. We don't want to put our clients into something that's on its way out. And so
how did you get around that? What did y'all do?
Well,
did some creative things?
Well, to be honest, you keep looking for more clients. For those who you can't be a part of, you remember who they are, you stay polite, you continue to build a relationship. You talk to people in our business, ad agencies, so that they may have other clients that they can put in, even though you might have went there looking to get, I want General Motors,
right?
I want, I want Cadillac, I want whoever. And they may tell you something like that. You want to stay in touch with them and find out that they may have other clients that are not as, may not have that specific requirement that you could still serve. And so that was very important for us to realize how important that was. And follow what other people are doing. Look to see what other people in your industry are doing. And follow that sometimes, especially when you're the new kid on the block. And in our business, it's pretty easy to see who other people's customers are because you can flip through their magazine and say, "Oh, this person is advertising to our market." For us, it's a relationship with the market that we have, the people who get our newsletter every day, the people that follow us socially, people that come to our site, that read the publication. We try to make sure that they're getting something from us so that we get their support, and their support is just being a part of our community. We consider ourselves a community. That's why we started the RIDE conference.
Man, you are good because I was going there next.
You're going to go there next.
Okay. But before we get there, it's so important because this is the age of social media. So everybody's on Instagram, Facebook. We're on Facebook right now and YouTube simultaneously. So Periscope. So all of these social media platforms, and many individuals feel as though that you have to do all of your marketing through social media. Social media is great. But I've also learned that you have to get out and still today meet individuals, hit the pavement. So I have many of our companies that are in IT space are just doing other things and their sales are low. And I tell them two things. One, either you need to learn how to do sales yourself or you need to find someone that can do sales for you. But you have to be able to sell yourself, sell your product, sell your service, because you could have the greatest product in the world. And it's not always that people aren't buying from you because you're Black. Sometimes they're not buying from you because they don't know who you are. And sometimes they're not buying from you because, again, you're somewhere in the dark. So you have to get out there and you have to make sure that people know that you exist. So which is important.
So salespeople can be the best investment you make. I know it's hard because there's a ramp up time for a salesperson. There's a sales cycle in the business. And so if you're not funded, that's the first thing you don't want to do. You're thinking, ooh, I can't afford this person. If they'll work for commission, I'll hire them. But most people that aren't good, they have responsibilities. They're responsible type of people. That might mean they have a family, bills. They can't go into a new business just and say, I'm going to sell it. And they know, too, it's going to take a period of time to learn your business, meet the people that are relevant to your business, and sell them. And so if they're waiting on a commission, they're not going to really, it seldom works. Let me phrase it that way. It can work, but seldom.
Listen. Many major corporations today, they still have sales teams. They still have, this is why we get so many phone calls, telemarketers, they have sales team. They may have outsourced it to India, other places, but they still have sales teams. So we must learn how to incorporate a sales team whether you have to pay someone virtually. There's websites that exist for that. I use some websites like that also. So you may have to use people virtually to do some sales for you, but you have to be able to get more sales to grow your business. And sometimes just doing it yourself may not be enough.
Which is where advertising comes in.
Which is where advertising
is the connector to marketing,
right,
and direct sales. So in an ideal world, companies, every major company does all three. They've got marketing, which is a marketing department that says, here's how we're going to position our brand.
Yeah,
we want the place we're at today to be a 5-star luxury hotel.
Yeah.
So here's the things we need to do in our brochure, our website, our concierge, the person that people see when they walk in. We got to do these things so that people perceive us that way. And that's what you have to do for your business. Be perceived a certain way. That's one step. Second way is be known. So now that could come from advertising, digital ads, print ads, social ads, sharing, obviously, through social. People do. All of those ways are how people get to know you at some point.
Yeah.
But that's not closing the sale, especially if you're B2B.
Yeah.
B2B normally involves a direct sale.
Yeah.
So, the three work together. By the time a person is getting to the direct sale, they've probably seen the type of advertising that you do. They expect to have seen the type of advertising that you do.
It makes it easier if they have seen it.
Yeah, and then they should be getting your marketing message through that advertising to know this is the kind of organization that maybe they want to do business with.
Absolutely. So that's great stuff. I love that. So tell us about the RIDE conference.
Glad you brought that back up. It's just that quick left.
No. I don't forget, sir. I don't forget.
We just had our 3rd annual RIDE conference. It's called Rolling Out Innovation in Digital Entertainment. And we do it in September every year in Atlanta. And we thought it was a great way to bring the community together and to transfer skill sets. So our most important goal of that is that people leave there with about 3 things. Knowing people that they didn't know when they got there, hopefully having learned a new skill that they didn't have when they got there, and then putting the two together in a meaningful way that allows them to strategically move their business forward. So we bring in skill sets from a lot of different spaces to accomplish that. We have a track in technology, a track in business, a track in entertainment, and a track in thought leadership. And we bring in people that, are well known on the celebrity and entertainment side, but equally, if not more important, is we bring in some heavy hitters in the business space who really are willing and want to share themselves with the people. And our conference, what everyone has said to me, and I really felt really good this year.
Yeah.
That
when was it?
September 6th and 7th.
Okay.
It's a 2-day conference on a Friday and a Saturday. Is that when I ask people what they think about it, nobody said, "Oh, it was a good conference."
Yeah.
Now, why did that make me feel good? Because nobody said that. They all said, "Ooh, this is what I got out of it.
Yeah.
I met this person.
That's important.
When so-and-so was talking, man, I mean, like the people that I've met here,
That's important.
And that none of the people ran out the back door when they got off the stage. They stood there and waited on the people to really get that little personal touch with that person off the stage that they wanted. And like when people tell you what they liked, they knew it was good. It was versus saying, they're going to tell me it's good just because they didn't want to tell me it was bad. But they pretty much, I mean,
you never tell the preacher the message was bad.
Right. But literally every person that I spoke to, they all said the things that were good about it. So that made me feel really great.
Tell us some of the people that's been at your RIDE conference, and what year is it? Was this
is 3rd year?
3rd year.
It's 3rd year.
This was the 3rd year back in September.
This was 3rd year a few weeks ago, right?
Okay.
Well, I guess now we're out of September, but yes,
time is flying.
30 days ago. I mean, Ray J, Charlemagne the God, Mona Scott Young, who created Love and Hip Hop series.
Yeah.
Dame Dash, John Singleton, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Laz Alonso. There have been some tech superstars that we've had there from the tech space. Carrie Hilson. I'm forgetting probably more people than I'm remembering.
But those are some heavy hitters.
And so, yeah, we have a keynote. We did do a women's luncheon on Friday, and we honor some women. And then Saturday, we did a music. We gave an award this year to Jazzy Faye.
Okay.
So we had a tribute. We had live singers who sang, or singer.
Okay.
10, big shout out. She did a great job. A cappella, with a little backup.
Yeah.
And even Ayo and Teo, for those of you who are familiar, they came out and performed as well before we gave Jazzy Faye his achievement award.
That you just mentioned something, because half of those names, most of my audience don't have a clue who they are.
Okay. And Dallas Austin, they might know Dallas Austin.
Dallas Austin. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but
these are Grammy winners. These are
which is great. But tell me this: what is Rolling Out doing? Because for my millennials that are watching, I want you to get ready. Every month, we are going to have a special millennial call. We're going to be doing some Google Hangouts. We're going to or some conference calls. But we're going to be having every month, once a month, a collection of our millennial chamber businesses around the country getting together and collaborating and doing business. As I tell everyone, I don't care about you making new friends. I care about you making new business friends.
New business friends, yes.
That's what's important for me. So if you're a millennial out there, put down in the comments, I'm a millennial. And because that's important, because we want to reach you. So what is Rolling Out doing to reach the millennial group? Because, and I see that the average age for you all is about 28 years old. So what are you doing and how do you reach them? Because many of our business owners want to be able to reach them. I hear a lot of talk at different conferences about millennials, how you reach them, what they want, and they got money, and on and on and on. So what is Rolling Out doing to reach millennials?
Well, first of all, we're letting some of the millennials in our organization grow into leadership roles and give us inspiration and ideas.
Say that again. Say that. Let them do what?
Let them give us ideas. Let them lead. We're trying hard to build leaders who can, and we lean on them. We ask them those questions that sometimes they're not even asking themselves.
Yeah.
To say, well, what do you think is a way to be successful with what we know, but from your point of view?
Yeah.
And how would you do it? And so, you really have to ask them. I have found you have to, because they'll leave the meeting and go on social and they're doing their thing, and it's like, and we're like, well, wait a minute, couldn't you apply the way you just did that to this business solution over here that makes everybody more money, makes the business grow? And it's not that they don't want you to succeed or that they're not committed to helping our business succeed. I mean, we appreciate them, as one day Munson or I will be there doing it. Yeah. And they will be. Yeah. It's intended to be a long-term business. Yeah. Not a. So I would say that every music is a universal language. Yeah. So the fact that we're able to work with a lot of people in that industry helps to, and I mean we've broken people that weren't like her.
H.E.R. the singer.
H.E.R. the singer, her, for those of you who don't know.
Great music.
Probably a year before she came across that stage and won her first Grammy, which was, I mean, she came up really fast.
Okay, yes, she did.
But about a year before that, when she was beginning to bubble, big shout out to Amir Shaw, our senior lifestyle editor, who kind of just put that together and put her on our cover. So you got to look for people that are, and I tell you that even in business, everybody can't be a Fortune 500 company, right? But there are companies that might be the next Fortune 500, that might be in an industry related to yours, could be a joint venture partner, as we talked about. A lot, don't be blind by the what someone has today. Yeah. Let me phrase it that way, because there used to be a company called Blockbuster, and I've got a thing on my desk that literally talks about the year that they were a $9 billion company, and the year that they had
went to them.
20,000 employees. And then, 3 years later, they were bought by somebody else for $100 million. And then 4 years later, they were bought by somebody else for $500 million. Yeah. And then 3 years after that, they had so many less employees. And 3 years after that, they were down to 200 stores. And a few years after that,
this is such a great point.
There's no more. And I
that's why pivoting is so important.
Don't be Blockbuster.
Yeah. Or Radio Shack. We can go
Radio
on and
Shack.
On. I mean, everybody went to
Radio Shack. Had a store, for those who don't know, like everywhere. Strip malls and big malls.
Everywhere.
They had probably, if I had to guess, they had no less than, 3,000 stores probably in the U.S.? I mean, I don't know how many stores Walmart has today, but they had as many stores as Walmart has today. Radio Shack.
But it goes to the point how we must learn to pivot. See, because how could Blockbuster do all of that and then Netflix understand, to your point with Munson being a visionary? This is why we must all be visionaries and have visionaries around us and listen to them. But Netflix understood where the market was going. So at that time, I used to get my DVDs in the mail
from Netflix.
I used to mail them
Before they were live streamed.
right before this, and then I used to go to 7-Eleven and get my DVDs out of there. But they kept reinventing themselves. Now it's all digital, and look now. Not only are they stop mailing DVDs,
Right.
they're making movies.
Right, they're making the content.
They're
Exactly.
making
And they're one of the biggest content creators.
Unbelievable.
And they're giving a lot of opportunities, thank goodness, to our community.
Yes.
Actually, it's an outlet that has allowed many, of our community to have an opportunity to be seen through movie making and show making that didn't exist 10 years ago.
So remember to share the broadcast. Keep sharing. We're going to go on here for a few more minutes, and we're going to wrap up here shortly. But share the broadcast
and treat your customers good, because there wouldn't be a Netflix for those who don't know the story. This man was renting from Blockbuster.
Okay.
And they misplaced the DVD.
He was renting.
Yeah, he rented a DVD.
Okay.
For his wife. They misplaced it. Well, Blockbuster used to just keep the fees going. You kept it. They charge you every day. The late fees.
That's how they made money.
It was more money than the DVD was worth.
Yes.
And the guy literally called and said, "Hey, we misplaced this. We want to bring it back." And they're like, "Yeah, but you got to pay this amount of money." He said, "That's insane. The DVD is not even worth that much." And they literally told him to shove it and pay the money.
Right.
They literally, and he literally got so mad. He said
he saw an opening.
And he saw the opening. And that's how he started Netflix. So look it up. It's real talk.
So if you're a business owner out there, or if you want to get into business, you don't have a business currently, the question is, where are the openings? Where are the openings? Where are the niches? Where are those places that nobody is paying attention to? And how can you get some individuals together to go after those openings?
And solve a problem. See what he did was solve a problem. So what I like to say as it relates to technology.
Because I got tired of paying those fees, man.
Yeah. So he solved your problem.
He solved my problem.
People who can see a problem, every problem you've got in your life, like as you come across them, think about what a solution might be.
Yeah.
And if nobody's solving it, that's where most of the apps are being created.
Yes.
They're solving a problem, that they saw that somebody else did. Well, they saw a better way to do things.
Absolutely.
And many of the people leading the way in the technology space, are not engineers, they're not programmers, but they're business people who have seen a problem and realized that, hey, there's a way that if we knew this information and could have it and put it in the app, it would make it so much better for what I want to do. And I'm sure I'm like other people.
Yeah.
Most people are. You really are like other people, especially when it comes to a problem or something that's stopping you. Everybody wants to get past that same hurdle, a small one or a big one, but it can allow you a big opportunity, again, in this space that is so much of an opportunity for us. You don't have to build a factory. You don't have to have $5 billion and build the factory and do. There's a lot of ways you can get an app built nowadays for $5,000 or $10,000 that can become viral and do a lot of things. I'm sure for less than that. If you really
if you're a business owner out there and you're looking to grow your business, contact Rolling Out so they can help leverage. You can leverage their platform to get the word out about what you're doing. So just by myself, I started the directory. I'm the founder of the directory, and I realized I wanted to locate more Black-owned businesses around the country. And I felt like if I wanted it, I know that many other people wanted it. And so I went on a tear, myself and my business partner at the time, Phil Bellamy, and we began to grow and do our research and build the directory. And now here we are today with the largest Black business directory in the world. So where are the openings? Where are the problems that people are having that you can solve? And so it's important to be able to do that. Man, this is some good stuff.
It's good stuff. Airbnb, they started out, all the hotels were sold out one day in San Francisco. And they said, I wonder if we put some air mattresses down. Wow. And bam, in no time, people wanted them. It was actually called Air something different, Air and Breakfast or something. And they would, like a bed and breakfast type situation. But it was literally some air mats on a floor in San Francisco.
That's why it's so important, even for you that have been in business for 5 years or 10 years. We mentioned it a little bit last week. It's so important not to look, and I've had to learn this in business as well. It's so important not to look at what other people are doing. somebody that may have a company the same size as yours or same type of company who might be doing much better than you. It's so important not to look at them, not to focus on what they're doing, and to run your race and grow your business. Because if you grow it properly, you never know where you will be in the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years down the road.
That's good to do reconnaissance.
Yeah.
You got to be abreast of what they're doing,
Absolutely.
obviously.
But you don't have to compare yourself to them.
Right.
Because
Don't
a lot of
compare
times
yourself.
we'll
Yes,
beat ourselves
absolutely.
down.
100%.
Yeah.
Do not compare yourself, because you're not them. God did not make you the same as them.
Yeah.
And truthfully, you probably have talents way beyond that person.
Right.
But if you focus on them, you'll never, ever allow your own talents to take you where you could have gone.
Yeah.
So you don't want that regret.
One thing I say all the time is don't be afraid to be yourself.
Right.
Don't be afraid to be who God created you to be. So be that person. Go after being the best you that you can be, because if you go after trying to be what, Mark Zuckerberg has done, well, Mark has already done it. He's the best at being Mark Zuckerberg. We don't need another Mark Zuckerberg.
Right.
We need another you, because the world needs the talents that you have that no one has ever seen before. So it's important for us to be able to grow our businesses. And as I mentioned last week, for us to pace ourselves. So it's important to pace yourself, give yourself time to grow, build relationships. Again, we met at a conference, and when I met him for the second time, because we kept bumping
second time, right? We kept
bumping into each other. The second time, I said, "Hey, I got an idea. Let's work together."
Yep.
But that's what happens when you start meeting people. You build these relationships. Now you can help them to grow. They can help you to grow. So speaking of growing and relationships,
right? Because if you go to our site, you will see USBC advertising.
Yes,
on there.
And now they're on USBC Directory Live.
There it is.
Share the broadcast. Share the broadcast. So, but as we get ready to wrap up, tell me the type of partnerships that Rolling Out is looking to build right now with either other entities, other media affiliates, other Black businesses. What type of partnerships are you looking
Well, we're blessed. We actually have some good relationships. So sometimes we do a lot of direct sales. And so we have network partners, other Black-owned sites that we're able to share that advertising with, so that we all can make money together.
Wait. You work with other Black-owned companies, and y'all share money together
every day.
Does that really happen?
It really happens. God is good.
It's okay for Black people to work together. You don't have to get all the money.
No, and they've treated us fairly through our ups and downs.
That's amazing.
So it's been great to be able to do that. And it's been great. The other thing is, obviously we're talking about Black businesses here, but a big kudos to the Blacks at large corporations who sometimes put what could be their career in a perspective of other professionals
that work
at these
there.
companies, because we get more advertising from large companies than small, obviously.
But it's because of the relationship that you have.
Yes.
They might look like you.
They might look like us, and understand that it's important that their Black media continues to exist. Because without Black media, hats off to the NNPA, which is the National Newspaper Publishers Association. Been around for maybe 100 years or whatever, that represent the daily newspapers. Please support the people in your market. There's and if you work at a corporation, for some of you who are getting your side hustle on, does the company you work at support Black-owned media, so that our voice can be heard, so that we're not silenced, we're not scared to not publish a certain story, because if we might lose that one advertiser, it might put us in jeopardy. You don't want to have your community's voice on an edge because they're so scared to say something that they'll lose advertising. Which is what keeps us in business. So, it's important that, again, when I say it's a community, those are the other parts of it, that there are people in the corporations who stand behind the concept and the reality and the facts of Black-owned media.
I'm going to say I was at a Black Enterprise conference here a couple of years ago. Actually, I may have been another conference where some of the founders was there, and he talked about the founder of Black Enterprise, Earl Graves. And he has great relationships around the country, worked with many individuals, and he talked about people who are professionals. So everybody does not have to be a business owner. Your target might be to work in the C-suites, which is completely fine. We need your representation there so that you can come back and help businesses like this. And one of the things that Earl Graves actually said was, the reason they put you in the C-suite is so that you can help your people. We think it's the opposite. We think you don't want to rock the boat. This check is looking good. No, you are there in that professional spot so that you can help Black people as well. So it's important for us to understand.
And the same is true in politics.
Yes.
Same is true in politics. You know, be involved. You know, you know, I call the two parties the Bloods and the Crips because they don't act any better. They generally don't act any better than the Bloods and the Crips. They simply are fighting against each other because they're the other party. Because it's the other party.
Yeah.
And we need politicians who stand for what's best for the community they represent. Absolutely. And I don't care if they're a Blood or a Crip, in this case, Republican or Democrat. I mean, I don't care. If you're a person who has my community's best interests at heart, that's who I'm going to support. And that's who you should support. Be a thinking voter. Vote every time.
Absolutely.
But be a thinking voter, not a sheep.
You know, that is such a great point. I love having feet off each other, which is good. Because one of the things I say is we have one Black Republican senator out of South Carolina. We actually need more Blacks to be in the Republican Party as well. I know that's people, it's like, whoa. No, we need Blacks in Republican, in the Democrat, and in the Independent Party who have the best interest of the Black community, because we need individuals on both sides of the aisle. We don't have to just be in one side of that.
Yeah, it's kind of like companies that maybe have done things against our community.
Yeah.
Or that, have gotten a bad publicity, man. Such and such bank redlined for years. They did these things to us. But if there's nobody there at that organization to look in their face and tell them why you need to change, or to have been there ahead of time, to have stopped H&M from saying monkey on the Black model shirt. Yeah. And that's the difference in diversity and inclusion. Yeah. It was a diverse ad, but it was not inclusive. It was not inclusive because they obviously had nobody on the team who was Black, because they would have known what we all saw when we saw that ad. So I mean, I think so it's important that we have people in all parts of government and business that are diverse and that are included. And that are included in the decisions being made, because protesting against XYZ company is not as good.
That only goes so far.
It only goes so far. Yeah. If XYZ company would have done the things to avoid that and to help our community ahead of time, they could have avoided. Yeah. But they didn't have nobody sitting there with them who they believed in, trusted, and was professional to help them. Yeah. Reach the community and not just sell to us, but actually understand what it means to support our community. Or, and so if there was nobody there, we're going to keep fighting the wrong battle.
That's why I say two things to that. One, this is why it's important for you, Black men, Black women, to grow your business, build your business, grow your business, expand. Also work together with other companies, work together with other Black-owned companies, and grow as a collective. So that is important. And then the other thing is, I was watching Tamron Hall the other day and watch a new show. Actually, she was being interviewed by Roland Martin. And she talked about how she was a news anchor. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And at the time, they wanted her to read the description. Someone who had broke the law, Black guy. And she said, well, the individual is 6'2", and he wears 195 pounds. That was all the description that she had. She said, I'm not reading that, because that could be my uncle, my brother. That could be any of them. That could be my dad. And that gives some individuals rights to just go and harass anyone. So she said, I'm not reading. But it happened because she was in the proper place. When she mentioned that, it was like, oh my goodness, we never thought about that. So we need you in every area, every industry. We need you to grow a business, support a business. And again, you don't have to necessarily be a business owner, but it is important for you, wherever you are, to make sure that you are there to support the community, grow the community as well.
Yeah, be conscious. Be conscious.
Wake up.
Wake up. Realize that you're Black, born Black, gonna die Black.
Absolutely.
Now, whether or not you want to, again, from inside a large corporation, inside a small corporation, or as a business owner or an independent person, know that your well-being long-term is tied to the rest of us.
Absolutely. You can't just go at it by yourself.
You can't.
We all do great. We work together. Last thing I say on this, there is an organization, I won't name an organization, but there's a very large Black-owned company that one time a year, they actually get together Black corporate executives,
Mhm.
and they meet together. I see you trying to figure out who it is.
Yeah.
But they meet together to talk about you're in the C-suites. Now, what do you do? What initiatives, what goals do you need to support to help Black businesses and to help the Black community? So if you're in the C-suite, we need your voice. We need you to speak up. We don't just need you taking up space. We need you to help our community and help the Black community, which is important.
Yep.
So that's key. So now, as we wind down here, I want you to tell me, because we talked a little bit about it,
Okay.
but actually, I wanted to ask you about the sister. What is that you all do? The sister.
Oh, Sisters with Superpowers.
Sister with superpowers.
So this for all your sisters out there with superpowers. Which every
Black woman,
every Black woman, Black girl magic, call it what you like. Yeah, no, we did it in 3 cities this year: Atlanta, Chicago, and Dallas. And it's a way for us to honor our sisters and show some love and give them some shine in a way that I hope has been meaningful to them. It's a reception, it's an awards program. We're at a beautiful facility in Dallas 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
The Black Arts and Literary Arts and Literature. It's a phenomenal place, to be honest. They had this huge auditorium. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah.
We did a special issue, glossy, that highlighted each of these sisters, and they're all making big difference in the nonprofit world, in the corporate suites, small business. The Dallas police chief, who's a sister. There's a sister who's chief of staff for the Dallas Mavericks. Which is very uncommon. A woman in sports.
She's in your magazine.
Yes, she is. She was one of the sisters that we honor.
Yeah.
It was an amazing event, and we've done it in 3 cities. We hope to do it in 6 next year. So we might be coming to a city near you and near DC and some others.
Yeah.
And it's a way. What I have seen is in the tech space, I see it in business, is that honestly, Black women are leading the way.
Yeah.
Black women are leading the way.
So we need our Black men to step up.
Black men step up. These sisters, they do understand working together.
Man.
They do understand. I think, that they don't know it all. Sometimes I think, our egos can get in our way.
Yeah.
And I think women sometimes are able to, come from a more learning perspective and even a little more cooperative. And what I see is, as much people talk about women can't get along and all that, and maybe that's true on a personal,
aspects, yeah.
No, it may be true on the personal basis. I might say, they don't have to be best friends.
There's a lot of guys that don't get along
either. They don't have to be best friends.
Yeah.
But I see them working together in business, and they support each other and support each other's business at a very high level. And I see that, and I'm encouraged by it. And I think that's a huge part of our future. So ladies, please keep doing what you're doing. Yeah. Continue to be a great example to all men of how we really can work together better, and how we can listen better to each other, how we can take counselship better and really change our behaviors and pivot and check us when we're treating you wrong. Y'all do all that.
Superpowers. That's all it is.
Superpowers. Right? What can I say? They got superpowers.
They gotta go to work to save the world, then they gotta come home to save the world. But no, so when's the next one?
Well, it'll be next year. We're not doing any more this year.
Okay.
We're doing our 20th anniversary in December.
Okay.
In Atlanta. So we're gonna have a big gala and a concert.
I was gonna ask you. So do you have the dates on that yet?
We don't. Actually, and I should know it. It's the early part of December. Well, almost the mid-December, just before the middle of December.
Okay.
So stay tuned.
So is everyone welcome?
Well, everyone's welcome. We're gonna have a concert. Everybody will be welcome. We did one on our 10th anniversary. It was $10 tickets.
Okay.
We did it at our place. It was a nice concert show, and we're gonna do the same for our 20th.
We may have to make a trip up there.
Yeah, and then we're gonna have a gala as well. Okay. So that'll be obviously a little more.
There are a lot of people working together in Atlanta, which I love. There's a lot of collaboration. So if you have a business and you're in the city and you're looking to move, go to DC or go to Atlanta. I would highly suggest it.
And they're successful. I mean, there are groups of, Black entrepreneurs in LA when I go out there. There's in New York. I mean, make no mistake. In Chicago. How could I not say Chicago? Chicago has a very rich history. of Black entrepreneurship.
I did a paper back in the day on the Chicago
And Detroit.
Defender. Yeah, I wrote an article. Actually, you can find this article on USBC directory. You go to USBC directory and click on the articles page. Wrote an article about the Chicago Defender and how they started. And things were so much better for blacks at the time, in like the 20s and the 30s and the 40s, that they actually would send out the newspaper to blacks down in Mississippi.
Okay.
And down,
Is that right?
down in Atlanta, in the South, right? And word started getting out. This is how some of the Great Migration took place, because they start sending out newspapers and they start telling people how the standard of living was.
Right. They had jobs. The Ford factory.
They had jobs. Absolutely. Come up here. You know, it's like it's still racism, but you can breathe a little bit better. And so this is why media is so important. This is why this platform is so important, to help you get the word out, so that we can all understand where we can go, where the opportunities are, and how we can really work together as a collective.
And I'm gonna quickly say something about social media, because you know we've all become reliant upon social media. But let me tell you, as a business, when Facebook started, we could post something on our page, and all of our fans saw it. And then all of a sudden, half our fans saw it, and then 25%. It's less than 10% of the people that follow us get to see what we put out on our Facebook page. But Facebook is happy to take some money.
Oh yeah.
Then we'll show it to the rest of the people.
Right.
So you build up your following in a social media market that you have no control over. And the day that they decide to change the game, all you can do is do it. I mean, right now, Google and Facebook make the majority of the digital advertising in America is spent with those two companies. Amazing. So think about the other people who might be looking for digital advertising, like a Rolling Out, or other people. We're competing against Google and Facebook. Now, again, 1 minute, we happy to build our Facebook following. Ooh, it's a social media. People are, it's one more way to build our brand. But then as they cut down on who we were actually reaching, now they're taking the money. So I just keep your eyes open. Stay aware as those trends happen.
And particularly if you have a product or service, it doesn't matter. That is such a profound point, because we're going to be dealing with some of this in our upcoming conference calls that we have coming up. So we're actually going to go in further detail what you could do as a business owner to really grow your following and expand your following outside of social media. Because again, one day they can wake up and say, hey, we're not going to do any of this anymore.
Yeah, you got to pay for this. Oh, wait, you got a business? No, you can't put certain kinds of posts up.
Yeah. Oh, there's been a lot of censorship we've been hearing about.
Censorship, or just, it's only for, if you're trying to advertise something, we're not going to let you put it up no more. What happens when that happens?
And if you're trying to advertise something black, I've seen a lot of that.
Yeah, there's
you've seen them.
There is a lot of censorship. That happens, and then artificial intelligence does a lot of it. But the artificial intelligence was built by people who don't have sensitivities to the way we use words, the things that we say. So they end up shutting us down. I'll call it unintentionally. But it's intentional that they didn't have us on the team when the AI was being programmed, the artificial intelligence was being programmed. And so because of that, artificial intelligence is as biased as the people who create it, even though it's a computer doing it. Yeah, and they believe that their bias isn't in it. And so people think, well, it's the computer said. Yeah. No, the computer didn't say it. The computer was programmed to hear certain words, certain things, see certain things, and think of it in a certain way, because the people who programmed it believed or had that set of beliefs.
That's such a great, and we've got way off topic, but it's such a great point, because this is why it is important to support organizations like ours, the United States Black Chambers, and even organizations like Rainbow Push, because to that very point,
next week they're in Atlanta for their conference.
How about
Peachtree Street Project.
Say it one more time.
At Peachtree Street Project in Atlanta, please come. The 10th, I think, is Wednesday and Thursday. But please come. I attend. I always attend.
And I've heard a lot of backlash about what is Reverend Jackson doing. What are some of our civil rights leaders are doing? Reverend Jackson went to Silicon Valley, every single one of our major social media companies, and said, give me your diversity numbers. And many of them refused, but one by one, he bammed on the door.
And not just the social media, the Hewlett Packards of the world that are building the products that we work on, the Dells of the world, Salesforce of the world. Big kudos to Reverend Jackson. I follow him on Twitter. He makes a lot of sense. He's a legend and a fighter for us.
So let me tell you.
Send money. Be a member, people.
Be a member.
Stop acting like the NAACP didn't help you get where you were, or
that?
Reverend Jackson.
No,
Please.
You just said something.
Or the Urban League.
But this is why I love, speaking of NAACP.
$15,
right.
$25, y'all. Come on now. Just send the check one time, once a year. It ain't that hard.
Once a year. Support your own. But it's so important. I heard Derek Johnson say something, president of NAACP. Derek said we do a bad job of telling our own story. So a lot of times we think our organizations aren't doing anything, but it's important for us to actually do our research. And I think NAACP is actually doing a much better job with some of our other organizations at telling their story, telling what they're doing, because they are doing. So Reverend Jackson went and to many of these companies, and many of them would not release their diversity numbers. So he got smart. He said, okay, I'm gonna buy some stock into your company.
No, he started that way before Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
That was his original Wall Street project.
Okay.
He bought stock in companies so that he could be at the shareholder.
He could be at the shareholder.
So when you're a shareholder, you have rights.
Right. You can show up to the meeting. And when Reverend Jackson shows up to the meeting, I think you got to pay attention.
Yeah, because you're a shareholder.
Yeah.
And just, it's a quick, while we're on that, please.
Yeah.
President Obama put into place the Jobs Act. And the biggest thing about it is you can now crowdfund money. And Black entrepreneurs have realized it. They are crowdfunding money. And I'm not talking about Kickstarter where you get a t-shirt. Yeah. I mean, you get an investment in the company and you can invest for as little as $200, sometimes $100. Yeah. But you're really helping that business to reach their goal. And I think for those of you who are trying to raise money, you should look into it. If you're the type of business that can scale, with some additional capital, but you'll learn about it by investing in somebody. $100, $200. Now you're a shareholder in someone else's success. And so there's places to go. Literally, if you Google crowdfunding platforms, you go to these platforms and they'll have 100 companies on there that you can choose to invest in. And there are some that are Black, so you should look for them.
Now that's amazing. That would be a great article to write. Have you written anything about that?
We had somebody from one of the platforms at the conference.
Okay.
Talking about, that platform. But no, I have not. And I probably need to write a little more
write
about
that article and we'll send it out, because I think it's important for us to understand there are options. There are tons of options. And so when Reverend Jackson went and banged on the door, they eventually, all of them had to release their diversity numbers and showed how, I think the largest company only had like 7%.
No, I don't even think that.
Somebody
had 7%.
One of them did have 7%.
But they were averaging about 1%.
Yeah, 1% to 2%. And but this is why we need you.
But some of them have doubled it since that time in 3 to 4 years. They've actually doubled their number.
He shined
even though it's only 2% now, which is horrible.
Right.
It's twice what it was because of the efforts he made to shine that light.
And it would have never happened had he not gone there, bammed on the door, say, what are your diversity numbers? This is why we support our organizations. These are some of the things that they're doing. So they're not just yelling and screaming. Some of them are actually doing real work.
Doing good work.
So what you said. So lastly,
okay,
this has been good stuff. I know you're a tech guy. So outside of rolling out and everything else, tell me about tech. What you're doing in the tech space, and
I've invested in a couple of African American tech businesses. Okay, I've done one through crowdfunding where I put in a small amount. Sister, who I think is going to be phenomenal. So y'all look for Popcom, POPCOM.
Okay.
She's working with artificial intelligence and software in kiosk machines.
Okay.
And she's working with the world's largest manufacturer of kiosks, but it'll be her software that'll be doing certain things and allow additional data collection and first party data, because data controls the world now. If you know enough information, you can figure out a whole lot of things as it relates to business. There's a company in Atlanta, some gentlemen and I got together. We're built on Salesforce. It's a B2B play that I think is exciting. There's some, for me, it's exciting to meet the people that I've had the pleasure of meeting with, things in the medical space that are going to make our lives much better. Black people, in the space of music, who are actually creating apps so people can get their rights. Sister came on my Tech Tuesday show and she was like, that there's
wait, when did your show come on? How can people get
1 o'clock on Tech on Tuesday? We live stream on Facebook, rollingout.com, Facebook.
Every Tuesday at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time, okay. Correct. And she's created this app so that there's like $50 million a year or some crazy amount of money that ASCAP and BMI, which are the people who hold on the royalties for all music, and it may be more than that, but that they don't pay out because they don't know who the drummer was, on that song that now is being played on the radio.
Right.
And what happens is with musicians, they're in the studio and they don't know that 2 years later, their sample becomes part of something else. But she's created an app so people can just, boy, I can't think of the name right now, so I apologize. But if you're in that space, look it up.
Yeah.
There's a sister in Atlanta, and she was in beta a few months ago and has actually released now. But it allows people to just, do it right there at the studio that day. Yep, and it actually uploads the sample so it can be tracked. And they know for you to get your money when the time comes.
That's amazing
stuff. And
so no matter where it goes, she can track. You can track the.
Well, what happens is it's registered through BMI and ASCAP and all the people that are going to pay you money. Even if it becomes part of something else later, it gives you a record of it and a way to get paid. And you might have moved somewhere in between, but everybody keeps a little app. Even though you might not have used it, but now you're still a musician. 2 years later, all of a sudden they're in the app. They're notifying you because it's still your property. Even though you've separated from it, but it's your property.
Yeah.
And so they help you hold on to your. I mean, these are things that she saw because her husband was a musician.
Mm-hmm.
And wait, you don't have no contract. You don't know what percentage you're going to get of that. Right. And those are real important if that song gets big.
Right. Absolutely.
People. So I mean, again, people are solving a problem that they see has nothing. She was not an engineer, had nothing to do with being technical or a programmer or any of those things. It's just, bam, here's a way to solve.
That's huge.
Solve a problem.
All right, so wrapping up here, that's amazing. That's amazing. It's a lot of great black minds doing a lot of great things around the country. So give us some calls, the actions, what you want people to know about you, how they can get in contact with you, get in contact with Rolling Out, follow Rolling Out, your social media pages and all of that.
We're rolling out everywhere. So Twitter, Facebook, rollingout.com. We're very easy to follow. We just want you to be a viewer and a reader of our media. If you have a business, we're happy to work with you on advertising. Obviously, that's how we stay in business. When you're in Atlanta, come say hello. We do have a studio. If you need a place to shoot professional photography.
So they don't have to go to the Tyler Perry studios only. They can go to Rolling Out Studios.
Rolling Out Studios also, exactly. So keep us in mind. Watch our shows on Tuesday, our live shows. We got Sucker Free with Rashad Ritchie. He's on the local CBS channel. He's also on radio. He does talk.
Ritchie, yes,
he's got he's a doctorate over there.
Okay.
Yeah, he's over at the
1380
Clark, Atlanta. He's a professor. He's a bomb brother. He has a show, Lipstick and Cognac, which is a very interesting relationship show between the two of them.
Okay.
And the guests they have on. So that we have some great shows. We have a lot of fun with it. Big shout out to Crystal Jordan, who has a show, Relationship Reality Check.
Okay.
So she'll bring on people, and really talk about relationships with relationship experts, as well as people that are very much popular on TV.
That's
so
amazing.
She'll have a lot of them on the show as well. So all those you can find if you go to Rolling Out, look at videos, you'll see the shows.
So one of our companies, rollingout.com, one of our members. If you are not a member of the chamber, you are missing out. Join today. Again, you can join by a couple of ways. Put your information down at the bottom in the comments. Just type join that you want to join, and someone from our team will be in contact with you. Or go directly to our website right now, usbcdirectory.com, and click on the link that says join now. Click on the link that says join now. We want you. We want you as a black business owner, no matter where you are. You can be in Montana, Canada, no matter where you are in the United States or outside the United States. We want to be able to work together with you as a business owner so that we can connect you to companies like this Rolling Out. The more we work together, the better we are. We can help to grow each other's business, expand, and help each other to really really do what we want to do in business, which is extremely important. So join today. We want to be able to absolutely
JOIN.
I love that. We want to be able to highlight your business. We want to be able to bring you on one day and talk about the successes of your company, and also connect you to many of our other members around the country as well. Some of the things that we do, some of our membership benefits is we automatically list you in the United States Black Chambers Business Directory so that individuals can find you. They can find you and locate your business to do business with you. We have our monthly member-only conference calls as well. Those are key. Our members love those. So we bring in other members of the chamber. We have to really talk about how they grow their business, and they explain to other members what they've done to grow their business. And we really leverage that platform. We do a lot of introductions. We introduce our members to each other. And I cannot tell you time after time again, members that we've introduced to each other, now they're doing business together.
Yep.
Yeah, doing business together. We've expanded them. We've introduced you all to many individuals as well.
Yep.
They've expanded in doing business. They've done some partnerships. They bought and sold some things from each other. So we really do what we can to make sure that our businesses are growing and that they are expanding and that they can do business together with each other. So these are some of the things that we'll be doing with you to help you to grow. My number one goal, as I tell all of my members, is to help you make money. So we deal with many of our major corporate partners as well. And just yesterday, exciting call, a major company that's one of our corporate partners called me up, said, "Hey, Brian, we need a contractor. We have some issues with our floor and we need it like next week. We're about to go live next week." It's like, "Do you have anybody?" I immediately see, because I know someone I'm going to go to who's a member. So I immediately called up one of my members. He does about $60 million in revenue. I called him up immediately. I called him. I said, "Hey, I got a job for you. Can you do it?" He looked at it. He said, "I can do it." I connected him to that major corporation just yesterday. So these are some of the things that, yes, sir. These are some of the things that we do with our members to make sure that they're doing business together. So we've connected members to do business with Walmart. Some of our business owners are just doing business with each other. One of our companies that we didn't have anything to do with, one of our companies is doing business in 3,000 Sally Beauty store locations. So, and they're out of Atlanta. Okay. You guys know who you are, so it's time for y'all to come on the show. I'm not going to give you a name out now, but you got to come on the show.
Come on the show.
You got to come on the show. But some of our members are doing some amazing things. So if you are in business, it's because sometimes when we're in business, we feel like we're on an island where nobody else understands. Sometimes your spouse don't understand. So this is a great network of individuals that you can begin to join together with, who understands the plight and understand what you're going through, so that you can begin to partner, do business together, and also just learn. I sent out an email last week to one of our newer businesses, and I emailed. I said, "Hey, you have a product. I'm going to send you one of our conference calls that I think that's going to be perfect for you." I sent it to her. She listened to it. The very next day, she said, "Oh my gosh, that conference call was so amazing. I felt like that was all the value I needed out of the membership just from that."
No, they're good calls. I've gotten a lot of value out of the conference calls too. Yeah. I can say that.
And we only bring in other members that are individuals that are members of the chamber, because we got multi-million-dollar companies. Yep. So why go outside of the membership when we have great companies? So we have some great ones coming up here sometime soon, where we will actually be doing $1 million roundtable with all of our companies that are doing $1 million or more. We will be doing a conference call just with you all, so that you can partner together, grow together. So stay tuned. We'll be sending out an email. So if you're $1 million company and you want to be on that conference call, so that you can partner and you can learn from other companies as well, place down in the comments, join. And again, we'll be in contact with you, so that we can reach out to you and begin connecting you. So this was great. Thank you, Randy Fling.
Absolutely. And I forgot, I'm Randy. If anyone wants to reach me directly, I'm Randy@rollingout.com is the easiest way to reach me.
So I do want to give some more love to our sponsor of the call today. Again, our sponsor for this week is Wise Hemp Company, LLC, and Wise Stone Teas. So again, next week, we're going to be talking about cannabis and tea. I know there's a lot of users out there, probably some users right now. Cannabis and tea, how does that affect the Black community? So we'll be talking about that. So Wise Hemp is a full-service CBD product development and marketing company offering products, white label and private label, as well as consultative services for those wanting to develop a CBD business. That's very important. So they offer teas and coffees and host their products in the cannabis space. Y Livingston is also a professional speaker. So if you want to utilize her services, actually her information will actually be down in the comments area. So look down in the comments area. They're going to be placing a link down there as well. Y Livingston is a professional speaker and published author as well. Y Livingston of Wise Hemp Company, Wise Stone Tea, will be our guest again next week, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Wise Stone has clients over the United States, in Canada, and in Ireland. She's doing business internationally, which is amazing. Wise Stone has been featured in national publications and has assisted over a dozen clients with opening their business in the CBD space. They will be offering a 10% discount if you go to their website and use the word BEWISE, BEWISE, BEWISE. Use that word and you will receive a 10% discount on some of her products if you go to her website, which is great. So again, her web address should be down in the comments. Tori, if you can place that down in the comments, that would be great. So again, next week, Wednesday, October 9th, again, we'll be interviewing YSIMP Company. And do not forget to download the app, USBC Directory app, USBC, which stands for United States Black Chambers, USBC Directory. Download the app right now. Locate a Black-owned business in your city, outside of your city. Support Black businesses.
Support Black business.
Support Black businesses.
If we all just do that, we all get to win together.
Everybody
That's
wins.
the only thing we got to do. We did that one. There's nothing more important that each one of us could do. If we all did that,
one time a week, one time a day,
it would change the dynamics of our community. I know some of y'all don't believe that, but my friend Maggie Anderson wrote a book.
Maggie Anderson.
And they actually proved it.
Yeah.
Her and John proved and sent the documentation to Northwestern University there in Chicago.
Yeah.
Northeastern and Northwestern Business School. And they actually proved
how many employees that you
it was more than Walmart.
Yeah.
If just Black people who made $75,000 a year would go from spending less than 1% of their money to
10%. 10%. I think it was 10%. Yeah.
That would create more jobs than McDonald's and Walmart.
Yeah.
For our community. Just that.
The little bit you do does make a difference. But we are the change that we're looking for. We keep looking for other communities, looking for help from someone else. The help is coming from us.
We are the change. We can do it.
Yeah,
we can do it. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
How about that? We're gonna do it.
We're doing it now.
What you think? I think we're gonna do it. And I just need each of y'all to do it with us.
Absolutely. No, this is great. So again, download the app, USBC Directory, USBC Directory app. You can get it in your Google Play Store and also in Apple. Again, we're the Google for Black-owned businesses. So we make it easy for you to locate Black businesses in the United States and outside of the United States as well. So again, also, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for sharing the broadcast. Thank you for creating your watch parties. Thank you for telling people about us. Continue to tell people about what we're doing here at the United States Black Chambers. We are highlighting and promoting Black-owned businesses, and we really do what we can to help them to grow and help them to expand, which is important. Again, if you want to join the chamber, please join down in the comments, and someone from our team will be in contact with you. Or you can go onto the website, usbcdirectory.com, usbcdirectory.com. Click on the link that says join now, and you can join today and become a member. And I personally will be in contact with you. Everyone knows I make those phone calls. So I'll be in contact with you to begin connecting you and helping you to grow and help you to expand. So this is great. This is great. We're so glad that you all joined us. Thank you all for everything that you've done. Join us next week. Next week, I'll be back in my studio. I've been traveling a little bit, but I'll be back in my studio next week. And again, we will be interviewing Wystone as well. So again, go to wystone.com, WYSTON, and again, type in BWise as well to get that 10% discount. Thank you all for joining us. You all have a great day. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week. See you next week. All right. This is great, sir.